Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something huge. I'm talking about the massive paradigm shift Google just dropped on us at I/O 2026. Look, we are officially waving goodbye to the era of those traditional click and scroll apps and stepping right into the era of 24/7 autonomous agents. And honestly, this changes absolutely everything about how we interact with our devices. So here's the big question we're going to tackle today. What actually happens when your apps start working while you sleep? To really wrap our heads around this shift, we need to look at the shiny new capabilities of Agentic AI, the give, and then systematically unpack the take. Because there's some very real privacy, economic, and safety trade-offs required to make all this magic happen.
Section 1. The Agentic AI Era.
As the folks over at GadgetFlow pointed out in their analysis, we are living through a fundamental shift in our relationship with software right now. We're moving away from the app era. You know how it is. You open an app, you do your thing, you close it, done. But now, welcome to the agent era. Instead of just opening a program, you're tapping into a dedicated cloud virtual machine that literally works around the clock. It's autonomous, it lives in the cloud, and it just keeps churning away in the background, even when your laptop is completely shut.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the give. Running on the Gemini 3.5 Flash model and Google's new anti-gravity harness backend, Gemini Spark is basically your 24/7 personal assistant. It is deeply integrated into Google Workspace and a bunch of external apps. Imagine this. It can parse your monthly credit card statements looking for hidden fees, pull school deadlines right out of your messy inbox, synthesize your meeting notes, and, get this, even order your groceries on Instacart or book a dinner table on OpenTable. It's wildly capable and it does all the heavy lifting for you.
Section 2. The privacy trade-off. But here's the catch, right? To pull off all those amazing, time-saving tasks, Spark needs an unprecedented level of access to your digital life. We are talking deep integration into your Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Maps, and, your actual device storage. Now, CNET rightly highlights that these connections are, thankfully, turned off by default. But the moment you enable Spark, you are essentially giving an autonomous bot access to a massive trove of your highly personal, sensitive data. You're handing over the keys to the castle.
Which brings us to this incredibly important number, 72. The News International reported something kinda wild. Even if you explicitly opt out of data collection for future conversations, Google still holds onto your data for up to 72 hours. And if your particular conversations get randomly flagged for manual review, well, those can be kept on file for up to 3 years.
So it really begs the question that CNET provocatively asked. Are you really okay with Google's bot watching your screen while you're not? This is the big takeaway here, folks. Having your sensitive payment details or real-time location data utilized by an AI while you're literally asleep, that raises some serious, tangible concerns about what happens if there's a data breach.
Section 3. Paying for compute power.
Now, the second big trade-off is purely economic. According to a report by La Nouvelle Tribune, Google is quietly phasing out those predictable monthly AI credits for its Gemini Pro and Ultra tiers, replacing them with a totally new quota system. Think about it. Under the old model, you knew exactly how many prompts you had left for the month, highly predictable. But under this new model, your limits fluctuate constantly based on server demand, request complexity, and sheer computing power. Text generation is cheap, sure, but if you wanted to edit a video or write complex code, that's going to eat up your allowance incredibly fast.
And oh man, the reaction has been swift. Subscribers are actively canceling their plans and even calling for boycotts over these moving limits. People hate the unpredictability. This whole lack of transparency has sparked some major backlash because users feel like they're getting way less freedom while Google keeps pushing these increasingly expensive AI tiers just to cover their own massive server costs. Section 4. Bypassing the safety net. Okay, our third trade-off is all about safety. To really get this, we need to talk about something called circular prompting. It's basically a methodical approach where a user starts with a completely innocent, safe-for-work request, and then, step by step, incrementally alters it to sneak right past the AI's content filters. A recent safety evaluation published on preprints.org actually tested Google's Gemini Nano banana image model against this exact vulnerability. In this preprints.org study, the researchers didn't just smash the system with code. They ran controlled experiments that simulated how normal users actually behave. They probed how Gemini reacts to this incremental prompt escalation and adversarial injection over the course of a seemingly normal, multi-turn conversation.
And the results? Honestly, They're pretty alarming. Out of 21 images generated using these multi-turn bypass techniques, a staggering 19 of them contained unsafe material. 12 were suggestive, and 7 were explicitly unsafe. The AI's context awareness just completely broke down as the conversation dragged on.
But here's what's truly fascinating. The study revealed a really weird mode-specific weakness. These persistent injection attempts completely succeeded in the image generation mode, meaning all the safeguards were totally stripped away. But when they tried the exact same thing in text mode, the safeguards held firm. It just highlights this massive, severe gap in multimodal moderation that developers are clearly still struggling to figure out.
Section 5. Trusting the unseen. Our final trade-off brings us to Gemini Omni. Now, Omni is an incredibly impressive model. It can seamlessly transform text, images, and video prompts into these gorgeous cinematic video outputs. You can swap out backgrounds, drop in AI avatars, or literally just edit a video by talking to it out loud. But, as GadgetFlow pointed out, this exact same tech makes Omni essentially the most capable consumer deepfake tool Google has ever unleashed on the public.
Now, to be fair to Google, they knew this was a massive risk, so they shipped an antidote right alongside the product. Here's the workflow. Every single video generated by Omni embeds an invisible Synth ID watermark. You can then instantly verify that video using the C2PA standard right inside Google Search or Chrome. It's basically a built-in lie detector, assuming you're inside the Google ecosystem.
And let me tell you why that built-in protection is absolutely crucial. Because our eyes are failing us. Google's own internal research shows that people can correctly spot a high-quality deepfake only about 25% of the time. That's it. Without a technical tool to scan the video, we literally cannot trust our own eyes anymore.
Which leads to this brilliant, if slightly terrifying insight from GadgetFlow. Authenticity is becoming a property of the platform, not of the file. Just think about that for a second. The uncomfortable truth here is that once an Omni video leaves Google's walled garden, say it gets downloaded and reposted on a different social network, sure, the watermark might survive, but your ability to easily click and verify if it's real or AI generated, that might just disappear completely.
So we're left with a massive question to ponder. Are you ready to trade your privacy, your predictable pricing, and your visual trust just for the sheer convenience of a 24/7 AI agent? The era of simply opening an app to get something done is gone. What replaces it is going to be faster, smarter, and incredibly useful, but it's also going to ask you to implicitly trust a system that is operating entirely while you aren't looking. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep questioning what you see, and definitely keep questioning what your devices are doing behind the scenes.